While many South Africans look forward to the festive season, families devastated by the 2022 KZN floods face a very bleak and painful reality. They say their lives have become even harder since the fragile makeshift homes that they had built were demolished by the municipality. Meanwhile, other survivors remain completely homeless, forced to beg for shelter from relatives or friends and endure overcrowding for more than 2 years since the disaster. Their frustration and despair deepen as the promises of help and permanent housing remain empty, leaving them feeling forgotten and abandoned by those meant to support them. Newzroom Afrika's Zola Sholwana is there for us and joins us now live. Zola, very good morning to you. So earlier on, you were in the Kennedy Road informal settlement. Now you're in Umlazi, and the commonality between these communities are those flood victims that still don't have any decent shelter. You did get a response, though, from the eThekwini municipality, and they spoke about how affected residents were assisted with temporary emergency interventions, such as that temporary residential accommodation, and in some instances, others were given building materials in order for them to rebuild. Does this then mean that many of these flood victims did not take up some of these relief measures?
Well, certainly, Gadlaho, in fact, that is what we are getting on the ground, particularly when we are speaking to some flood victims here in Umlazi who are saying they've been hearing about these temporary measures that were supposed to be offered to flood victims of 2022, but they haven't benefited from any of that. As a result, some of them have had to find accommodation from relatives and friends while they are still hoping for a solution that will come from government as to where will they be accommodated. I must admit, though, that there are some who are, accommodated in the CBD, who are saying that they are grateful for where they have been placed, but other people cannot relate to the reality of others, especially those whose homes have been demolished by the municipality, and of course those that haven't heard anything from the municipality according to what they are saying to us. Let's actually get to speak to one of the flood victims who's going to explain his current condition. But ngiyabonga ngesikhathi sakho, ungasichazela mhlawumbe ukuthi niphila kanjani as a family yakho ningenandawo yokuhlala.
Ngiyabonga ngenzani ukuthi ngibingelele kubo bonke abantu abangilalelile la. Endleleni impela yokuphila kahle kahle nje selokwenzekala ama-floods asiphili kahle ngendlela eyiyona nathi sifisa ukuthi siphile ngayo. Asikho kahle kahle simeni sokuthi singarathi lesikhona ngoba kwenzeka ama-floods ayenzeka eqaleni kwahamba imizi enzasi, then kwase kusuka ke manje kwenzekala lento le eyenzeka la ukuthi dilike izindlu zabantu, uthole izindlu seziyakrek, abantu sebeyamuviswa whatever and ever. Kodwa nje selokhu nje kwenzeka konke lokho, mina angenetsekile, angekho right ngoba since selokwenzeka lonke lonto le yenzeka ngisalapho kulo ndawo le engangikuyona. So manje nami angazi nami ukuthi kahle kahle yini ngimele ukuthi yenzeke okanye yiphi imigomo emele ngiyilandele ukuze ngikwazi nami ukuthi ngikwazi ukuphila njengawo bonke abantu abaphilayo. Because nami ngiyathanda ukuthi ngiphile nami njengawo bonke abantu abaphilayo la.
Niba ngakhi kini and nihlala kanjani? You said earlier on ni more than 10.
Empeleni si more than 10, siba 15 ekhaya, kodwa njengoba siba 15 nje sihlala ngendlela ezihlukene ukuthi asihlali ndawonye. Ngoba ubaba uhlala nezingane ezincane ezifunda ezikole kuma primary, nami khona nami la ngiqashe khona indlu, nami ngesimo sokuthi angifuni ukugcwalisa labantu laba basekhaya, ngizama ukuqasha nami indlu le ngiqashe kuyona, nami ngihlala kuyona. Kanjalo nabo sisibami nabo khona ezinye izindlu nabo abakwazile nazo ukuthi bakwazi ukuzithola, bakwazi ukuziqasha. Kodwa nje empeleni umuntu akekho right lesimo lesahleli kumanje la.
Khona mhlambe ekukhulunywe uhulumeni kunina after ama-floods ukunithembisa mhlambe ukuthi bazonikeza accommodation banikhiphe la?
Ya empeleni lazi mina mengakhuluma ngiqinisekise mina akukho engisakuzwile. Mina ngokwami akukho impela engisakuzwile, kodwa nje impela bengisalindele ngoba abanye bayethu bahanjiswa barathi futhi lebekhona singazi-ke nabanye abangekho right kodwa nje bahanjiswa abanye lana sithina sisahleli lana sibaningi nje sikhona lana kodwa sengikhulumela thina ikhaya sisakhona nathi la sisahleli la akukho kuhambayo ukuthi uhulumeni ukhona kulandela akukho sisakuzwile ngaye.
Impilo zenu bhuti sishintshe kanjani from ukuba nekhaya nefamily yakho to now spending Christmas la uqeshe khona ubabule wena ulana mongasichazela ngalokho?
Of which is lonto ayi mina kahle kahle empeleni mina ayikho right ukuthi mina ngingakwazi ukuthi ngihlukane nomndeni wami kulesikhathi lesamanje seChristmas ngoba manje abantu kubalekele ukuba mabahlangane nomndeni wabo bonke abantu baphelele mamndeni manje thina mangabe uthi nami ngile nosisi wami ule nabantu basekhaya bele manje asikwazi ukucommunicate nje somndeni.
Siyabonga bhuti. Thokozani Mchunu there, a flood victim of year 2022. Some of these people have to live with the reality of constantly seeing where their homes were and whenever they go to work or when they go to different places, they are reminded of their circumstances, their current pain and struggles, as he has explained that some of his family members have had to seek rental at other yards not far from here. He lives somewhere else because there's about 15 of them, so they can't be accommodated in one home. So that's the sad reality. He also says that they haven't had any formal communication from the municipality as to what plans do they have in terms of assisting them while they are dealing with the aftermath of those devastating floods that we saw in 2022. And they remain hopeful that something will be done, some sort of intervention, because all they need at this point is shelter for their families so that they are able to celebrate Christmas and the festive season like any other South African out there. Kat,
Certainly
back to you in studio.
Yeah, a bleak Christmas for those that are still without homes 2 years later since those floods happened in KwaZulu-Natal. Zola Sholwana coming to us from Umlazi. Thank you for that update.